How's it going, everybody? This is Beat the Bush. Today I'm going to show you my espresso workflow and some of the tools I use that can bring your espresso to the next level. I have a Rancilio espresso machine with an Arbor PID upgrade kit that I did myself. There's a lot of equipment here and I'll list them all in the video description below. I just experimented with roasting my own beans. This is an Instant Omni Pro air fryer with a rotisserie attachment inside. You can buy this drum attachment for the purpose of roasting beans. This is from Fresh Roasted Coffee LLC from Guatemala, Huehue, Tenango. Before roasting, they're green like this. And I just popped them in there under roast setting, 405 degrees, around 20 to 40 minutes. And after roasting, this is medium, and I roasted these for about 40 minutes or so before I got this color. This is a Mir coffee canister. I like this one because you have this little stopper that can go inside, so it squeezes out all the air, and then you can flip this to make it airtight. Look at that. Then you put your scoop in there, and then close the lid. Here I have an IKAPE mini low profile scale. Turn it on. Look at how fast this updates. And it measures in 1/10 of a gram. Put on 20 grams, put on another 0.1 grams, and now 0.2 grams, so it should read 20.3. Yep. So when I put on a 0.1, 1/1000, 2/1000, about 2.5 seconds later, it can register just 0.1 grams. So this also has other modes. This is mainly for pour over, but we're gonna do espresso right now. If you put in the espresso cup, it can calibrate that away. And if I just add a little bit at a time, the timer will start counting to let you know how long it's been dripping. So I'm going to do a double shot. I'll need 16 grams of beans. Spray it with a little water. Last time I made it, it was way too coarse with 60 grams of output. So I'm going to close it by 2 red clicks. And because I'm a bit lazy, I'm going to use this power drill with the bottom of a cup attachment here. Just slow and steady as if I'm grinding it. I use this wood block to prop up my portafilter so that it's flat. Put the dosing ring on, open this up. A few grinds is still stuck on it, so I'm gonna use this brush, but I think it'll come out of this jar a lot easier. Use the WTT tool. This is the only method that truly makes your coffee taste better. And the whole idea with this is to break up the clumps that's at the bottom. So you push this all the way to the bottom and lift up just a tiny bit and go round and round. And towards the end, you kind of lift it up so it only touches the surface a bit and make it kind of even. This is a little bit higher than the rim, so I'm gonna tap it a little. And I have some grinds on the side, so I'm just gonna brush that into my puck as well. Now we use this distribution tool. It's a levitating gyroscopic 58.35 millimeter in diameter distributor. It's held up by magnets. If I push it down, it just pops right back up. And when you spin it on its own, it just spins forever. The surface is this shiny stainless steel, and we just put that right on, spin it a few times, take it vertically off, and this almost looks like it's ready to go already. Now I'll use the IKAPE tamp tool. This is a V6 impact tamper, meaning that if you push down on it, it clicks, and that signals you press it at 30 pounds. It's also 58.35 millimeter feedback tamper. That's the click. And it also comes with this rubber stand here. Notice the bottom has all these little ridges for maximum flavor extraction. Put it right on, click it once, press down lightly, turn it half a turn, do it again to polish it. And then when you lift up, beautiful prepped puck. Let me open this to show you what's inside. There is a 30-pound spring, and you can replace it with a 15-pound one that's included. If you remove this outer shell, there's an outer spring for this top piece that does the leveling. If you remove the end piece, you'll see the internal mechanism. Notice that this little piece here is slightly tilted. I removed the spring and the pieces that makes up the leveler to make things easier to understand. We still have this piece that has 2 springs inside, and it will still click at 30 pounds. The clicking assembly by itself has 2 springs, 2 sleeve, and a plunger, which makes it a little hard to understand. So I'm going to remove the 30-pound spring first, and also this outer sleeve so we can see what's happening. The outer sleeve will typically put this spring under tension, so it's going to look something like that. When you exert force down, this plunger is naturally tilted because the underside of this lip is tilted. So even though I'm trying to hold it straight, the internal plunger is tilted to the left side. When I make contact to the bottom, it kind of holds it there by friction. But when you push this further, this cylinder is no longer holding on to that center cylinder. And if I come down, it just naturally wants to get in the center. So when there is a spring in there, it pushes in there with a lot more force and makes that clicking sound. There's a certain distance I have to push this down before it would fall right in the center. This is an exact distance, and you have to push the spring an exact amount before this would fall in. Therefore, you can design a spring so that by the time it compresses a certain amount, it exerts 30-pound force. After it makes that clack and rests in the center, you release this spring and it pushes everything back up. And you see that center piston, it naturally wants to move to one side. This spring, it's under pressure as well, so it's gonna try to push it to one side. It's a little bit hard for me to push it at 30 pounds without the sleeve, but I'll try. When this thing is placed on the portafilter, it mostly sits around the rim. If I hold on to the rim, the rest of it goes down pretty easily, and it's kind of separate from the rest of the tamper. If I just hold the bottom, then it exerts that 30-pound pressure. Put this inside your machine. Put your scale right at the bottom. I have this espresso cup I can use, put it right there. I'm using homemade almond milk for my latte. There's nothing but almonds and water in here. I just blend 80 grams of almonds with 2 cups of water. Pour it in here. Steaming the almond milk proves to be a little bit tricky. I usually have to stop steaming around 120 degrees Fahrenheit, and it keeps on rising until right around 150. If it ever crosses 150, then the almond separates. So you might want to give it a little bit more headroom and even stop at around 145 Fahrenheit. Eject the water that's in here first. So you don't want this in your milk. Now it's all steam in here. Now we can start. Keep on swirling, about 150 degrees Fahrenheit now. Now we clean the nozzle. This is a single boiler and the internal temperature is 187. So I gotta drop it to 130, turn off the steam, turn on the water, turn this on. And we're waiting for this to reach 230. There we go, almost there. 7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. If I turn it off and then turn this off, see, look, it goes to 221. Wipe the nozzle. The single boiler is actually not that bad because I can eject all this hot water and this essentially heats up my cup. Now I turn on the brewing, turn on the scale. I'll set it on espresso mode. And when I put on the espresso cup, it tears out to 0. Start the brewing. Does the pre-infusion. Now it starts the brewing. After a few seconds, finally coming out. 1 gram. It's looking pretty good now. I'm shooting for 32 grams, 2x of the coffee bean weight. And it looks like it's under, so I'm continuing the brew for a little bit longer. There we go, 32 exactly, and I brewed around 29 seconds, which is still not bad. The internal timer was going for 25 seconds, and it actually didn't come out until 8 seconds later. Nice crema on the top. Put this in my main cup. To make my latte, I do put in 1 teaspoon of sugar. I know some people doesn't like sugar in their coffee, or they drink their espresso straight. I have this flat tip spoon that allows me to stir it a little bit better. Get all the sugar to melt and put in my almond milk. All that effort for this latte. Let's see how it tastes. The weakest link here is probably my roasting method here. And lastly, clean up with a vacuum. It's nice to have a dedicated food-safe vacuum so it can touch all your coffee gear without contaminating it with other dirt. If you guys are interested in any of these products, I'll list them all down in the video description below. Thanks for watching this video. Until next time.